Hey there, welcome to our channel and welcome back to my kitchen. Y'all come on in. We are going to make 16 bean soup because that's the way they sell it at Aldi's. Remember in my last haul, I bought some 16 bean soup so that I could make it. I love, love, love Cajun flavored or Cajun made. The first thing you're going to need is a big pot. Now I want to say this is a 12-quart cast iron Dutch oven, but I'm not positive. But it is big enough because that's what I use every time I make this soup because I know it'll hold. For the first hour and a half of preparation, all you're going to need is what I'm going to show you now. Then when we come back, I'll set out the other ingredients and we'll put them in later. But for right now, this is what you're going to need. The first thing you're going to need is a 15 or 16 bean soup mix, and you're going to want to soak your beans overnight and then drain them nice and good, and they'll look like this. Then you're going to need a real ham bone like that, and then just a few little pieces of ham with fat on it. You're going to need 4 or 5 carrots, a whole onion, 3 or 4 pieces of garlic, 3 ribs of celery, 1 can of fire roasted, and it really does need to be fire roasted. Just, that's a hint. You need fire roasted tomatoes. Need some bay leaves, 6 cups or 6 to 8, 48 ounces of chicken broth or water, either one. A little bit of olive oil and a little bit of butter to saute your veggies in. All right, we're going to start with the onion. See, I already cut or sharpened my knife. Now I can use it without cutting myself. It makes such a big difference. And don't throw this stuff away. Y'all know I'm a big proponent of saving that. Just stick it in a bag in your freezer because it makes the best broth. All right, and we're going to small dice that onion. Look at that. Oh, look at that. I love a good sharp knife. Look at that. I'm happy, happy, happy. Now we're going to move those onions out of the way. And I'm going to cut the celery. We're going to cut that pretty fine. All right, now we're going to move those out of the way. We're just going to pile them up in those onions because it's all going in the pot. Now we're going to do our carrots. Save that carrot end. Those also can go in your veggie pot, in your freezer, or veggie bag. Okay, now that my veggies are all cut, we're going to get our pot ready. We're going to get it nice and hot, but on a medium flame. All right, first we're going to add a little bit of olive oil, maybe, I don't know, a tablespoon and a half. It looks like I'm shaking a lot, but it's pretty chilly out here, so it's not coming out like it should. That's about a tablespoon and a half. We're going to take and put About 1/3 of a stick of butter. And we're gonna let that get nice and hot. See my little sizzle? I always look for that sizzle. And it's gonna take it, this butter's really cold. It's gonna take it a minute to melt. Now we're gonna dump all those veggies right on into the pot together. And let them start sauteing and getting soft. This will probably take, I don't know, between 5 and 10 minutes to get them nice and soft. You don't have to worry about the carrots getting too soft, but you do want your celery and onions soft. You know, when I was younger, you know, and not that experienced of a cook, I would use those little packets that came in the bean soup, and they weren't good. You know, they didn't taste like Granny's. So I called her and I said, "Granny, how come my soup tastes bad?" She said, "'Cause you're using that packet." She said, "You need to use your own spices, what you like, you know, or, you know, I'll give you my recipe and you can use it." So that's what I do. And except for the fire roasted, I learned that later on, that those fire roast, that was by accident. You know, I made a pot and the only tomatoes I had were the fire roasted, and I put those in and I was like, oh, that just took it to the next notch level. So now I use those, but she used just plain old diced tomatoes. All right, they are almost to where I want them. Just another couple of minutes and that celery will have changed color just a little bit, and I'll know it's ready for more ingredients. Now it's time to put the garlic in. I've only got about a minute left on my veggies over there. And I'm just going to cut these into really small pieces. It's not, you know, don't even really particularly have to be all that small. They're going to cook for so long, it's really not going to matter, but... And we're going to drop those. And we've got 1 minute left. Now it's starting to smell like that Cajun Trinity. Oh, yeah. Okay, now we're going to add our beans. All my lentils stuck to the bowl. Let's get those. Alright. We're going to need that ham bone and just a few little pieces of ham and whatever's left on that bone. Put that in there. Need that 6 cups of bouillon or water. I just made chicken bouillon with just bouillon powder, which means I don't have to add any salt yet. That 1 can of fire roasted tomatoes. Yep. All right, we need 2 medium-sized bay leaves. So we're going to go with that. Going to give that a stir. Combine everything real good. See what I mean about it being a big pot? You need a big pot for this. All right, now we're going to turn it down to low. Put the lid on it. And let it go for 1.5 hours. All right, y'all, it's been 1.5 hours. Actually, probably closer to 2 by now. I was out there helping Randy with the fiberglassing on the boat and kind of lost track of time. So, no harm, no foul. All right, now it's time to add our spices. And this is a half a teaspoon measure. My teaspoon measure doesn't fit, and rather than make a mess, we're just going to do it like this because that makes it so much easier. So we need 2 teaspoons, which would be 4 half teaspoons of smoked paprika. There we go. And then 1 teaspoon, which is 2 of these, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of thyme, and half a teaspoon of pepper. All right, and we're going to give that a good stir. Get all those spices incorporated in there. Then we're going to give that juice a taste. I'm not sure. I know the beans aren't done yet. Yep, I don't add any salt. No more salt. Okay, now we're just going to put that lid back on there and give it right at another hour. But as soon as the biggest beans are done, then your soup is done. It's so, so good. All right, our hour's up now, and we're going to put the final ingredient in our pot. All we have to do is right before we serve, which is here in just a minute, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of red wine vinegar, if I can get it open. There it goes. Just about a tablespoon. It'll just wake everything up. Give that a good stir. I'm going to put that lid back on it. And we're going to get our boudin in the oven. And this is boudin. This is Cajun. It's not really a sausage. It has rice and pork and onions and peppers and all kinds of stuff in it, but it's not really a sausage. And all I'm going to do is just take them and set them in this little pan, this little dish, and they're going to go in the oven to heat up for about 15 minutes. They should be ready in 15 minutes. All right. And I did spray that with a little no stick just because it might stick. So anyway, we're going to slide those out. 1, 2. And 3. And we're just going to sit them right in the oven. And that's a 350-degree oven for just about 15 minutes. That should be plenty. Time to get her out of the oven. They told a story on the side of that boudin package. It said to put it in there for 10 minutes. I knew something wasn't up with that. So I told you guys 15. It's been more like 25 minutes. But it's nice and brown now, so we're going to take it out. And while you weren't looking, I put a little piece of, or a nice little bowl bread. They were 67 cents. And I had it in the freezer, and soup and crusty bread is just a perfect, perfect combination. So that's what I did. So let's get that bread out. It's nice and crunchy now. And we'll get that boudin. I'm still getting used to these gloves, y'all. Okay. There is my boudin. We're going to get a bowl of soup. which I already turned off. So it'd be cooling some so we could do taste tests and could actually eat it. Look. Oh yeah. Perfect Cajun beans. Wipe that off. Set that there. Get us a nice piece of boudin. Oh yeah. Slice of bread. Hear it crunch. There we go. Get a little butter on that bread. And dinner is served. Taste test time, Randy. Get from behind that camera. Come on.
Yep.
Here he is.
What do we have here?
16
Like I
beans.
don't already know, right? Anyway, the bean soup. Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
The boudin, which I understand why you didn't put it in the soup.
Right. You don't put the boudin in the soup. It's very, very soft. And it would just come all to pieces. You wouldn't even really know it was in there. If you want a good sausage for Cajun bean soup, use the andouille. And then you can slice it up and put it in at the same time you put the ham.
Achoo!
Oh, bless you.
Whoa. That's from the...
From the boudin?
Yeah.
Had a little kick?
It went in there and then it went up in my nose. No, but I perfectly understand why you didn't put that in the soup itself. But that is really, really good. But you're going to have to get a bite of the boudin. Like that, maybe I won't sneeze.
Mm-hmm.
And get a bite of the soup.
Well, that's what I do. I kind of like put the boudin on my bread and then dunk my bread. Yeah, that's what I do.
I wonder if you could like get a hold of the boudin like that and then add a little bit of soup to it.
Yeah, you can do that too. It's your bowl. You can do anything you want.
It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to muster up my meal and I'm going to go eat.
All right.
All right, y'all have a good night.
Like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.